With the collapse of banks like SVB, Credit Suisse, and now Deutsche Bank, a lot of people are starting to question how safe it is to keep your money in the bank. But another question might be even more crucial. Are your investments safe? What would happen with your investments if Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, or Vanguard will go bankrupt? Would you lose your stocks in your ETFs? Could the brokers take and sell your stocks to pay back their own loans or to give themselves bonuses? This question will be answered in today's video. First of all, banks are not the same as brokers, and to better understand how they differ, it can be good to first understand how a traditional bank works. So, when you open a checking account at a traditional bank and you put money into it, the bank can take that money and lend it out to other people. This is because banks are using something called the fractional banking system. It is named this way because banks are only required to have a fraction of the amount ready for withdrawal. The rest of the money can be lent out to other people. Banks do though have a requirement rate for withdrawals, but this can be as low as 10%. This entire fractional banking system allows banks to make money because they loan out the money and then they are paid in interest. And this is why you are paid interest when you deposit money in a bank. It is the bank's thank you, so to speak, for you giving your money so they can lend it out to other people. But this also means that the number you see when you log in and you look at your checking account isn't the actual amount that is there. You can take out your money, but that is because everybody doesn't do it at the same time. If every customer at the bank would withdraw their money at the same time, there wouldn't be enough money. And this is because a large portion of it is lent out to other people and they have bought houses and cars with it, so it isn't there in the bank. And this is partly what caused SVB to go bankrupt. A huge amount of their customers started to withdraw money at the same time to the point where they had no more money to give. These types of bank runs are one of the most common ways banks fail. It's that and speculative investing from the bank side. Because of this, governments have made laws that ensure that the customer of the banks will get their money no matter what. In the US, this is named the FDIC insurance, standing for Federal Deposit Insurance Company, and they will pay whatever amount you had at the bank up to $250,000. This way, most people feel safe that they will get their money back no matter what. Even if the bank were to go bankrupt or collapse, well, they would still get their money, but instead from the bank, it would come from the government that pays it instead. But what would happen with your stocks and your ETFs if your broker would go bankrupt? Is there a similar insurance for that? Well, first of all, the investments you have in, let's say, Vanguard can't be loaned out as the money you have in a traditional bank. And furthermore, most brokers aren't what are called custodians, meaning the broker isn't the one holding your stocks. The custodian is in most cases a subsidiary to the broker, and the setup is this way, so it separates the broker from the custodian. So if the broker would go bankrupt, your money, your stocks, your ETFs would still be safe because they never belonged to the broker. So if you were to look at a broker's balance sheet, your stocks and every other customer's investments would not appear on the balance sheet as an asset. And one way of looking at it is that the broker is the middleman. It's the place where you can go and buy and sell stocks, but they're not the holders, the custodians of it. And because of that, brokers that go bankrupt have no legal right in any way to sell your stocks to, for example, pay back creditors. But what if it is a Vanguard fund like VTI, where Vanguard is the one that made the fund? What would happen then? Same thing applies there. Even if it is Fidelity or Vanguard that has created this money market fund, they're still not the custodians of the money of your investments. So if you invest in Vanguard, they invest for you, but they have no way of taking out the money. They can only invest it for you. In other words, your stocks, your ETFs, your funds should be safe as long as the broker isn't also the custodian. Hope you found value in today's video and that some of these things that can be quite complicated are a little bit more clarified. And I hope to see you in the next one.